Okay, welcome to this week's Outfitted Tales, brought to you from home. We've actually returned after, what, 2.5 weeks nearly?
Yeah, down south, down deepest, darkest south.
What have you been doing?
So down there I've been conducting the level 2s down there. Since coming back, I've been taking clients out for novice
busy
clients.
really, busy.
Yeah.
Busy in the run up to Christmas. That's been good. I enjoyed it down there actually. I actually called in on the way back to, we're taking the management on a new piece of Sika ground. So it's kind of on the side of the motorway, so kind of a little bit of a detour for me on the way back. So I had an evening and a morning there just to give a bit of a recce of that. But more,
I'm sure we hear about more of that later on, won't we?
That later on. So yeah, it's just been busy, hasn't it?
Yes.
But good.
Yeah.
I mean, every single person that we took out for 2.5 weeks, shot deer every stalk, lots of training opportunities.
100% record, wasn't it?
100% record. Some guys really did well actually, because you were quite impressed with the quality of the preparation.
Yes, one of the level 2, yeah.
And a lot of guys that were honest enough to say that they weren't ready, so they've had a good 2 days of training, which I've kind of been doing. They'll probably flick back either up here or back down there when we go in February, so good trip.
Yeah,
good
get
trip.
them finished off. Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, there was a couple of guys who weren't quite ready, were they?
Yeah, but they weren't. To be fair to them, they weren't sure, were they? They said, "Well, come on, we'll do." So we do 2 days normally,
yeah.
And I mean, they came with that attitude. Well, see how we get on after the end of the sort of 1-day training session, and then if we think they're ready, they can go for witness stalk. Yeah. Clearly, they weren't, which they understood. So we just banged on to another.
And they got plenty of hands-on.
Plenty of hands-on. I mean, 4 or 5 growlocks over 2 days is getting you somewhere near where you want to be. I mean, I know the guide, DMQ gives a guide of sort of stalk and shoot 6 deer on your own, and then you know yourself you're ready. But to be honest with you, it very much varies on the individual.
Yeah.
I mean, some people just simply not
40,
good with a
50+,
knife,
yeah.
just simply using a knife.
Yeah.
Others pick it up straight away. So it's like everything in life, some things you can take to and some things you cannot. So the easiest way to do it is go out on a training stalk, let the AW tell you where he thinks you are, and then take it from there.
And practice.
Yeah.
Simple as. Yeah. Get loads of hands on.
If you need hands on, come up here.
Yeah.
So else we got? You're going to talk about setting up a scope.
So yeah, we did it a little while ago, but basically setting up scopes. Obviously, there's loads of different ways to set up a scope on your rifle. This is the way I do it. I don't need levels and stuff. I use the actual horizon and stuff to level it out. But using torque wrenches, a lot of people don't know how to use them properly and what settings to use for their scopes. You get a lot of people who bung the torque it right up without using a torque wrench, and end up denting the scope and stuff, ruining it and breaking it.
And we've got, me.
You, yeah. So
Sledge.
Yes. So with your animal transit boxes, Sledge. Yeah.
Yeah, liking that. And then finally, you've got some news on a competition giveaway.
Basically a competition giveaway for you guys. Since we're coming up to Christmas nearly, we're going to give away a set of Vortex HD Binoculars. Details to follow.
Okay, so first up, you and the scope.
Yeah.
Set him up.
Enjoy this, guys. Hi guys, Rob here from Talon Gear and South Ayrshire Stalking. What we're going to do today is basically fit. We've been given a new thermal scope from Infrared, the TP25 SE, and we're going to fit it onto this Browning 223, get it out, and then hopefully show you some footage of getting the foxes tonight. In the box it comes with its own mounts. Personally I think these are probably a bit high, but we'll use them as this is what's been provided, so we'll use them. But if I was using this myself, I'd probably change over the scope rings to something a bit more flatter to the profile of the barrel. But yeah, so here we go. So again, we'll just put the bottoms of the scope rings on for now until we can get the scope on, and then we can adjust it for my eyes. I might bring this one right to the back so we've got enough room to play with. If you do this enough, guys, you should know what your sort of eye relief is going to look like on the scope. So if you notice here, I've got plenty of play on the eye relief, so I can sort it out for myself. Yep. Just give that a little crank up. So as I say, we'll do everything up finger tight, and then we'll get the torque screwdriver out once we're in position and get them all torqued up properly. But we need to give ourselves enough looseness to still be able to slide the scope around up and down like so. What I tend to do when I'm tightening them up, I always go opposite corners, just so you get the right tension on the scope without putting too much pressure onto one screw. Like so. Right, so we've still got a bit of movement there, we can still slide it forward and backwards, so we've got the play that we need. What I'll do is put the eye rest piece on, and then that way I can sort out my eye relief. Right guys, so all I'm going to, obviously as you can see, I've still got loads of play on here. All I'm going to do is adopt my normal shooting position. Get my cheek hold, same as I normally do on the sticks. And I'm just going to bring it all the way back. Look away, come away from the rifle, get back into position. I should be back straight there again. Ideally, I would like it slightly further back, but it's not going to go any further back because we need to offset the Picatinny rail, or get an extended rail for the Picatinny. But for me at the moment, I can deal with that. I'm happy with that. The cross, I've also made sure, so we've got the rifle level, and I'm also looking at the target down the range to ensure that the crosshairs are so we've deliberately put the screens in on the range level. We do also have a level bubble here to check, but we don't need to, because I can actually line my crosshairs up with the top of the witness screen at the bottom of the range to get the level. And everything so I'm looking down the line of the centre here, making sure it's coming down to the centre of the rifle as well, the centre of the bolt. Maybe just a touch. Too much. Right, so I'm happy there. So I'm not going to touch the rifle, I'm just going to initially crank up the two corners. So crank up on that one, crank up on that one, crank up on that one. So opposites. So front right, back left on both. So the scope is now secure, so I can now move this, just double check before I tighten everything up. All good, I'm happy with that. Right, so all I'm going to do now is obviously tightened up the two corners, and I'm just going to check, get it out of position, out my shoulder, and then come in, make sure it's nice and comfortable for me. I'm happy with that. So all I'm going to do now is go away to the car and get the torque wrench, and then torque up the bases and torque up to the tops to the recommended settings. So obviously this is a torquing screwdriver, not the cheapest of things I might add, so I think they're about 80 quid. But I always torque so the bases always torque at 4 Newton meters, and the actual scope rings himself at 2 Newton meters. The only reason I use that is because that's what the tier 1 settings are. So that way I've got consistency, so that if I want to change my scopes over, I've got minimum movement, especially on the Picatinny rails between, if I'm putting the rifle off and then back on, I've got that minimum movement, so minimum adjustments for when I check 0 if I take the scope off. So it's just a basic.
Can I get a close up of that and just show them how you actually set it?
Yeah.
So what would you do? You just dial in the...
So basically, first thing you need to do is obviously check it's on Newton meters. So what we're on there, we're on, so that's Newton meters there. Then I just basically adjust it. So I'm bang on 2 there, but obviously you can adjust it all the way down. And what basically this torque wrench will do is once you put enough pressure on, turn it really slowly. Once you get the right pressure, it will give a bleep. And again, same as before, I'm just going to do the opposite corners. This way I'm not crimping down too hard and actually crimping the actual scope tube. I forgot to mention as well, you need to try and make sure that these gaps here, if they don't fit all the way around, are even. Just so you're putting even pressure onto the scope. So, same with the back ones, so tighten up slowly. Yeah. Then just as a final check, just check them all. Just apply a bit of pressure. Yeah. Yeah. The reason I do this as well, because if you tighten some up too hard, other ones will loosen off. So just make sure that they're all tight, they're all at the same torque. Simple as. And that's us, we're good to go. So we need to go down the range, set up the target, and then we're good to go to 0.
I think people will find that really useful, to be honest, because I think a lot of people don't really know how to set up a scope. And as you say, there are lots of different ways to do it.
Yes.
But there's also lots of wrong ways to do it.
The main thing for me is eye relief. So it's like if you buy a shotgun, it needs to fit you properly. So if you're searching back and forth with your neck on the stock, with your cheek weld fully on the stock, and you're searching for that full picture, your eye relief's wrong. Then it costs a lot of inexperienced people a lot of deal.
There's two things I like about this. One is I do like the raisable cheek pieces because that allows you to actually get that effectively custom fit your stock. But the other thing I always say to people is you set the eye relief up how you think it should be, and then lift the rifle up to your eye as if it were a shotgun. So you stand, you lift it up, and your head should be there. If you're having to do this or having to do this, then it's not in the right place. So you want to lift it up, and you should be looking down.
A natural, comfortable position.
Yeah. Common sense, but if nobody's ever sort of explained it, then you maybe don't know.
You don't know what you don't know. Let's face it. So what we're going to look at now, you and your
sled.
You and your animal transit box.
I do like it.
And the sled, yeah.
And the sled. I've got to say,
here we go.
This new Sika ground is very good, by the way, and I did shoot a Sika within 15 minutes of getting out of the car. But can I just say that my wife was delighted, and can I also ask you, how long has my wife been asking you for a Sika?
Yes, that's fine, but you've also got to remember, I've had clients out on Sika. I've not been out shooting Sika myself, so I've had clients out on Sika, and the amount of Sika that I've shown clients that they've not been able to shoot, especially one client.
This is what I call a fishing rod moment. Because I've had the client out that you're talking about as well in the bloody nightmare.
And can't see a thing.
Anyway, I had to get that one in.
Yes.
I wanted Anne to come on, but
Thanks
she wouldn't.
for that.
She wouldn't. You got to, you give it, you got to take a bit.
Exactly, yeah.
Anyway.
I'll kill you later.
You'll get me back. The sled and the animal transit boxes. So part of this last trip was to go down and see Carl and the guys at Animal Transit Boxes in Telford. I've also done some stalking with Carl down there as well, which is a clip that we'll bring to you. And they fitted out the back of the new truck, the new Ranger. Rab's got the other Ranger with the Animal Transit kitted out already. So you're
without the sled and without the winch.
Without the sled winch.
Let's face it, I'm the one that shoots all the big deer in it, really. Or most
Yeah,
of the big deer.
I probably have to test it first just to make sure it's all right.
And I'm the one that has to handball it into the back of the vehicle
That's it,
by
yeah,
myself.
but you know, you're younger than I am.
So you needed it more than I did,
You know
didn't
what
you?
we said about turning the phone off? Oh, did you? The people are going to think that this is right. Turn your phone off before starting
Amateur.
filming. We'll
Amateur.
leave that in. We'll leave it in because you know, it comes around. We did say though, turn the phone off, and you turned your phone off, and I didn't.
No, mate, I said mine was already off.
Oh, you did. Aye, okay, all right. Anyway,
Because I'm a professional, mate. Yeah.
back to, apart from getting Sika, back to the sled and the animal transit boxes. So the guys fitted the truck out. We filmed some of that down when it was occurring, if you like. The trouble is, it's in a workshop environment, and unfortunately, a lot of the background noise from the workshop was being picked up on the camera. So a lot of the sound from filming, down to cameraman.
I was just about to say,
Before you get in
cameraman's
there,
error.
My error. We can't use a lot of the talking in the chat. We can show you some of the footage, which Steve will very carefully edit. But anyway, we're going to bring it you now in action. So, picture tells a thousand words, really, doesn't it? So it was fantastic.
Animal transit boxes, only because it's so short because I wasn't invited down to film for it being fitted. So
Yeah.
this is on you, Chris. Anyway, animal transit boxes.
Okay, so that's just proves how good this bit of kit is. This is the Animal Transit Boxer sled, really solid, really robust. You know, good frame on it. This is nice, that even where the straps connect. So you've got multiple options over your shoulder, control with this, drag with one hand. So put it around your waist, put it over your shoulders, whatever particularly suits you. Going uphill, the one over the shoulder is really good. Coming downhill, I just find it easier to drag. A sled, if you've got it too close, can catch on the back of your heels. I just use a couple of securing straps. Again, you've got good securing straps on all corners of the deer, so basically it's not going to drop off the sled. Medium sort of sized Sika on there, get a red on there, fine, no bother. Just strapped in, so that's a really tight load, dead easy, absolutely easy. Take a lot of the umping and pumping, dragging. Yeah, so this is the truck kitted out. We've just come back from Bedford, so I've been stalking for probably 2.5, nearly 3 weeks. So lots of gear I had to take down with me before this was fitted. So obviously that's not got into the relevant drawers yet, but I did film this down at in Telford, where Carl and the team fitted it out for me. Basically lots of combinations, it's all a custom fit. I go for this half section because I like that. You've got the ladder in there which just drops out the back, so the sled pulls in just on the winch, so it's ever so easy. That slide tucks into a nice convenient spot. That actual sled fits in there crackingly easily, and also you've got room on front. And then in here you've got your partitions and your drawers. That's all sectional, so you can have that however large or small you want it. You can stow the ladder sections in there if you want, long enough to put rifles in there either. I tend to use this just compartmentalised. I've got all my stalking gear in here, so whenever I go anywhere it's all in there. So it's not completely fitted yet. And the other thing is these deer covers. The guys at Deer Covers made these covers which fit over the top of the sled, so if you know you put that over while you're dragging the Sika, or for a bit of privacy if you're anywhere where there's any kind of viewing or You just want to be a bit discreet about what you're doing, so that's a great touch. The deer covers hold all the sled attachment, the harness and the links that go onto the sled for dragging. Winch is fully automatic. You just press and hold the 2 buttons. Operates on, and then you've got in and out. So in and out, onto sled, onto ramp, up into truck, and away you go. I'm not even going to bother with that because I'm just going to lift that in. Because I'm used to lifting big reds around, so that's like throwing a toy around. But it's there, easy. I'll be introducing Zosha to her kennel later on today, but obviously the kit that's in there will have to come out first. But I'm sure she'll be delighted that she's got a house, because she's found it fairly strange for the last couple of weeks when I picked the truck up about where a box was in the back of the kennel. She's used to being in there, so we'll introduce her to that later today. But this is really good. Really good gear. Makes stalking an awful lot easier, and life on the back a lot easier if you want to not hump and dump big deer in and out the back of the truck. So, good kit. The problem with previous sleds that I've used is they're not really robust enough. Often they're not big enough. The sides are not, there's not much of a side on them, so when you're trying to strap a deer on, especially a stag, it's awkward. With this one, it's more like a mini toboggan. It's very rigid. They've got nice handholds, as you see down the side of the sled, so actually carrying the sled out because it was quite a long way. The Sika was kind of down a quite steep bank in a conifer block right at the other edge, so to drag it up the slope, and the little retaining straps we used for hanging deer up or whatever was great for actually strapping it on the sled, as you'll see. So I was very impressed with it. Very easy to drag. You've got multiple harness arrangements, and also like the carabiner arrangement at the front, so it actually balances out. So if you want to put the strap across your body so you've got your hands free, it actually works. Uphill particularly, downhill's a bit tricky that because it hits you in the back of the leg, but you can switch over then to just the hand drag, and I found it quite easy. Now that's quite a big Sika. Now obviously it's not a red, but it was a fair old drag that, and easy done.
The thing I like about it is it's because it's got the concave bottom,
Yeah.
whereas a lot of the sleds have got a flat bottom, which is not great over Clearfell, for example.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the curved bottom also, you've only got one point of contact on the ground, so it's reducing that friction by quite a lot. And if you're dragging a stag or a big Sika, it makes a massive difference.
Yeah, it's very much like a sled. The design is very much like a sled.
Yeah, but it's, a lot of sleds have got runners and stuff. But
Yeah.
what that curved bottom's creating, it's easier to go over to the rain.
Yeah.
But you've only got a small point of contact on the ground
Yeah.
for that friction
Yeah.
to build up. So
Yeah,
it's actually
brilliant.
easier to pull, believe it or not.
Well, you could see that anyway. It works fantastic.
If Chris can drag it uphill, it worked. That's all I'm saying.
Get out of here.
Get my revenge.
Right, so really, that brings us on to the giveaway.
Yes, guys. So what we're going to be doing is obviously a similar competition to what we were running last time, but we're going to be giving away of a set of Vortex HD Binoculars 4x42s, the Crossfire ones. So basically, all you need to do is like, subscribe on our socials as well, and obviously share.
And the little links and everything will be
And
on
all
there.
the links will be down here.
That one, yeah, that one. The cricket manoeuvre. Yeah, a good prize that.
Yeah, believe it or not, and
when's
they've
that?
got a lifetime guarantee. So hopefully we'll draw that. I'm hoping to draw that New Year's Eve, so we can release it for New Year's Day.
Right, okay. So that's got to be a good
So there's
prize.
not an awful lot of time, guys. So
Yeah, get on with it.
Get on with it.
Get on with it. Get on with subscribing. And that's probably about it then, really.
Yep. Yep.
So
all
we'll
good.
wrap it up.
Next
So-
show will be sort of coming up to Christmas time, won't it?
It will be very festive, yes. We'll be busy, but we'll get something out, I'm sure.
Yep.
So it's a good night from me.
And it's a good night from him.
And as always, watch this space and please keep liking and subscribing and get into the competition.
And tell your friends.
Phone a friend, mail a friend,
Cheers,
link a
people.
friend. Cheers.
Cheers.